Warning, I swear a lot. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Foreman's Mech Locker. Another day, another commission. We got another mech to build, but before we get there, I have a couple things to show off, just a couple updates to give, because I have actually beaten Armored Core 6. There are 3 endings. I've gotten 1. I got the good ending. I still need to get the bad ending and the true ending, which is convenient because the true ending can only be achieved on New Game Plus. So I may as well go get the bad ending and then go get the true ending. But the point is I've got a lot more parts to play with, a lot more stuff to use, and I have 2 updates to give you. The first update is on the warning. Okay, we're up to warning Mark 4. Yeah, have a little looky at this thing, right? This is what I've been running with primarily. I'm quite pleased with it thus far. I think it's got a real presence about it. It's a fierce looking machine. It's got some really good, I like the sort of spike, not necessarily spikes, but the edges, the sharp points, combined with a sort of smooth surface, as it were. The chest is nice. It looks a bit plated. It looks a bit reinforced. I'm quite happy with it overall. We've still got the twin coquelettes. We have a big fuck-off missile launcher on the back because I recently discovered the great value of missile launchers. So, yeah, that's been useful. I have... What weapon is this again? I should need to remind myself because I went back to playing Baldur's Gate because I still haven't beaten that yet. Got a laser dagger on the back, which is nice, very quick, very sharp, quite effective, and I love daggers, so was pleased to get that. I've got the Moonlight Greatsword as well, by the way, as is the case in all From Software games. Got the Veril Head, Mind Alpha Body, VP460 arms, and IBCO3L HAL 826 legs, which are significant. And I got some pretty strong boosters, close quarters combat focused FCS, and a pretty strong generator with terminal armor. This is not the best thing I've made. Indeed, dual pistols is not the best way for me to fight, but I do really enjoy it. I did unlock new dual pistols actually, the Ducket, but these shoot slower for more damage, and I honestly prefer the Coquelette. The Coquelettes have more rounds as well, and I kind of appreciate them because they're smaller. I prefer them looking more like handguns than holding a rifle in each hand, you know. But yeah, that's how the warning's coming along. I'm quite pleased with it. But I've got something else to show you, because as you guys know, last time we built the Pest, and I was quite keen on the Pest, and I mentioned I'd probably end up making my own variant of the Pest. Well, and the less said about Big Thickums, the better. I would like to introduce you to the Pest F pattern, yeah? Check this out. I gave this a touch of my own preferences. I think you'd be quite pleased with the results. So, this version of the F pattern retains the Fortaleza legs that gave it its speed and nimbleness, but I've gone with different armor. The core, in particular, is thicker. I believe that's the same head. I can't remember which head we gave the original Pest, but we've got the Basho head as well. Noctrea arms, so that the fire specialization is good, the firearm specialization. I then gave it dual miniguns. Whatever the fuck this is, a spread bazooka, that's right, the Morley spread bazooka, and the Songbird's twin grenade launcher with a Talbot FCS and a VP20S generator. This thing, right, if there's a boss I'm fighting in the warning and I just can't deal with it in the warning, I switch to the Pest. I switch to the F pattern because this thing cleans up. It's absurd. It's brilliant. It feels like playing the game on easy mode. And I should point out, and I'll get there in a minute because when we're painting we won't have a lot to talk about, this game's fucking hard. This game's really fucking hard. So having an option like that is very helpful. But yes, let's get to today's commission, shall we? Commissioned by Spectrum. The client states that they would like a spider mech with grenade launchers and missile launchers and various explosives. Also, make it pink. Buddy, we do pink around here. We do pink around here. And they wish for it to be called the E.G.G, or the Excitable Grenade Golem. So, yeah, we're going to make that happen. Of course we are. So let's start with the name. The E.G.G. The E.G.G. That's good. So, the idea here, obviously, is to make it look like an egg. Or at least be on spider legs with a sort of curved body, at least implying some kind of overall cylindrical or spherical appearance. Now, we can make this work. Now, first of all, we should probably go with the legs, because this will be easier. When I thought about this, because once I receive these commissions, I do spend a couple of days thinking about how I want the end result to look, or what I think it should look like. The inspiration that popped into my mind was droidicas from Star Wars, right? With the forelegs and all the curves, like all the slopes, as it were, that allow them to roll up into a ball and fucking roll around. Now, we can't roll up into a ball and roll around, which is sad, or I'd call it the Sanic. But there are other things we can do, surely. I'm thinking short arms, if we can help it. Although the Noctreas, funnily enough, might be a good shout, because they've kind of got that droidica look to them. Let's just have a quick look at that. Maybe, but I would prefer trying perhaps one of these. The Peugeot arms are pretty small. Yeah, see, these are teeny arms, which is kind of what I wanted. But we need to try and get a sort of spherical outline on the top half. That's kind of what we want. This will be difficult to accomplish. So, by the way, parts, spoilers, I guess. Some parts will be considered spoilers, so... Oh, that's pretty egg-like. That might be a thing. This is gonna look terrible. This is gonna look fucking terrible, but I love that. I love that a lot. Okay. There, look how happy that robot is. Look at its head with the smile. This is the egg. Come on, that's a winner. Come on, that's pretty good. Come on. This is good. Come on. This is great. So, grenade launchers and missile launchers. Now, I would honestly, typically, lean in entirely on grenade launchers because they basically function as cannons, which is a very good thing to have. I don't have any money, so I can't buy anything else. That's why I'm doing these commissions. But I can't just plaster the thing in grenade launchers, or it will literally just be grenade launchers. The client did specify that they want missiles, so let's give it some fucking missiles. Okay? Now, I honestly feel with the tetrapod legs, it would be better to just load this thing up with cannons, because we can use the mid-air hover mechanic that tetrapod legs have to rain down fire without having to stop to brace for recoil, which would make things like cannons very helpful. But, hey, client said they wanted some missiles, so I'm giving them some fucking missiles, okay? We're gonna have some missiles. Don't let it never be said that Foreman don't give you what you want. Because Foreman knows what you want. And for the most part, it's explosives. So, I don't want to just copy from last time, but we've established that the Iridium is an exceptionally good grenade launcher. It is. It's very good. But I'm thinking if we're going for a full explosive build, we might actually want to go with the Zhuangge. But instead, words are hard, guys. We want to go with the Zhuangge instead because it has more rounds. And I feel that endurance might be an issue here in the long term when it comes to this mech, right? Just not having enough ammo. Now, the problem is, of course, is 2 Zhuangges appears to throw our arms off whack. Although, if we got the Melandeer... See, that's fine, but I think the Peugeot arms really capture the essence of this thing. It needs the teeny tiny arms. Alright, so we won't go... We'll go Majestics instead. We'll see how that... Oh, do I not have another Majestic? Alright, we'll go a Majestic and an Iridium. That's pretty good. Quite happy with that. Make it work. So, boosters. Speed's going to be a real issue, so I say we give them the strongest fucking boosters we can. And we're going to need a generator, obviously. It's either going to be the IBCO3 or the Sun Tai. Really going to be either of those two, because they provide the most amount of EN capacity. I would say the Sun Tai. That's a good shout. That's a good one to have. Now, FCS. This is a balanced one, and that's all well and good. I'd say something focusing on medium range, because I rarely actually engage from what... I don't know what's considered long range, but I tend to be pretty close to my opponents to help ensure accuracy. So, because I'm not very good at timing. So, yeah, no, a mid-range one would probably be a good shout, and we'll give this... pulse protection. No, actually, because we're going to be hovering a lot. get assault armor if anyone tries to fuck with us too close, or we don't have any ammo, or we manage to stagger them but nothing's ready to fire. Hit them with the assault armor. Big boom. Big boom. Big damage. Huge damage. So, boost speed 293 ain't bad considering the ordnance we're bringing to the field. The Tanquang chest provides some serious stability. Hard to crack that, like an egg. The legs are fine. What's the alternative? Yeah, these are more heavy-duty legs. See, I feel like the Veril would look better. You know, I feel like that kind of looks better, but it does make the mech bigger. Then again, Spectrum never said it had to be a small egg, just said it had to be, like, an egg. And no, I don't want to go on a test run. And the head gives it a golem sort of look, a golem kind of look, which I think works. Fuck it, let's take this thing on a test drive just to see how it moves. Let's just give it a look real quick. So here's the mech. It actually looks pretty fucking dope. Yeah, it's not too fast, but it's not too slow either. And then here you go. What you do is you set this up, right, so you can just fly along the air, and you can fire all your heavy weapons without having to stop moving. It's very powerful, actually. You can do a lot with tetrapod leg mechs. They are exceptionally good. In fact, I'd say that the worst legs in this game to have are bipedal. Normal bipedal legs are probably the weakest legs in the game in terms of overall functionality. Now, the Warning has bipedal legs because I prefer them. But, yeah, the other leg types really do provide more value. I think this is the way to go. It just does feel a bit big. That's really funny. That's really funny. If Spectrum hadn't requested spider legs, I probably would have gone for spring chicken, because that looks hilarious. And it works. The mech would function like this. That's really funny, and that's probably also really good. Now, I think the Veril, it's not... I feel like it's straying a bit from what Spectrum asked for, but I feel like this just works. This just feels better. It suits the torso a lot more. God help me, I'm going to go with that. So now, we've sorted that out. Very good. Now we move on to the paint job. Now, Spectrum only confirmed that they wanted it pink. They didn't specify a shade of pink. They didn't specify how much pink, just that they wanted it pink. So we will work with this, as we always do. Is there a color scheme here that does pink? Just wonder if I can outsource this and make my job so much easier. It's okay, I'm happy to do this myself, I'm just having a look. Nah, no pink. Oh yeah, we're gonna make this thing terrifying and hilarious in equal measure. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So, I beat Armored Core 6, which isn't like a big achievement for me to act super cool about or anything. But, yeah, it was really, really, really fucking difficult, actually. Like, excessively difficult. The game does not fuck around. I should be clear. It is extremely difficult. We're gonna make this a nice, clean mech. We're gonna make it look nice and clean, shiny like an egg even. But the game does not fuck around. Not for a second. It punishes you for every mistake. Every single mistake you make, the game absolutely relishes in the opportunity to jump on you for it. It does not fuck around. One of the bosses, even, and this was weird that this was a thing. One of the bosses, I swear to God, was made with the intent... That was weird. Okay, that's not what I wanted, though. Oh, right, I need to copy it. Yeah, that's right, I forgot. I swear one of the bosses was made with the sole intention of giving people epilepsy fits. And I'm not saying that disingenuously or as some kind of piss-takey joke. I genuinely believe that's kind of what it was made for, because I fought it like 4 times, and the flashing, bright, colored lights coming from it, and I'm not talking like energy attacks, I'm talking literal flashing lights, like ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, was so bad that after 4 fights, I got eye strain and a headache so bad it felt like I'd been playing for days. It felt like I'd had my head glued to this monitor for days. It was fucking outrageous, and I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. What part of that no one on the design team was like, hey, this seems like it would probably kill people. But no, they just went ahead with it anyway, so I guess let me offer you guys a little warning for the game if you think about checking it out yourself. If you are in any way susceptible to or vulnerable to flashing lights and have to run the risk of having like an epileptic fit, don't play the game. Just don't. Just don't. It don't. Just don't. Because the game takes no prisoners on that front. Jesus, like unnecessarily as well. But the game itself is fucking rough. Not rough quality-wise, but rough as in difficulty-wise. The game is absurdly hard. Every Souls game, I feel, has like one or two or three or five maybe bosses where you're like, man, this guy's a real tough customer. Like I'm having some difficulty dealing with him, but it's not too bad overall. You know, it's within the expectations of a Souls game or a From Software game. And eventually you manage to take him out, right? Not too bad. But then every Souls game, and I guess probably most From Software games, have that one boss. And you know exactly the one I'm talking about. The one that ruins your fucking life. The one where you just cannot beat them. You try and you try and you try and you get fucking nowhere and you just can't do it. You just can't fucking do it. It is agony. It feels impossible. You're sat there and you're like, how the fuck has anyone ever beaten this thing? It is absurd. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah? You see where I'm going with this, but not quite. This game has like 4 of those. Alright, maybe 3. 3 might be a bit more reasonable. But one of them makes a return as an even worse form. This game does not care about you at all, right? In games like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, and Sekiro or whatever, you can typically get like knocked on your ass, which are moments in which you can't really take damage. Your dodges and your rolls also tend to have invulnerability, right? Iframes. The point is, Souls games typically have iframes in them in some shape or form, right? So there are moments where the enemy can't hurt you right now. Granted, that state might only last less than a second, but it's still a thing. They can't hurt you anymore. This game does not have that. You are a mech. You don't fall over until you die and explode. The enemy can and will 100% be on your twitching body until you explode. It will keep hitting you until you die. There is no pause. Well, obviously there is a pause. You just pause the fucking game. But what I'm saying is the enemy doesn't let up. The enemy does not let up in this game. It will be on you endlessly. You'll be hit by one heavy attack, and while you're like, whoa, you immediately get hit by another, and the enemy has moved around and is getting ready for another heavy attack. You get staggered in this game so fucking easily, and your enemies do not. Your enemies just don't. I have hit people with full strings of melee combos, and on the second hit they went, nah, fuck you, and did their big attack. I have staggered enemies in this game, and 0.3 of a second later, and no, I'm not exaggerating, 0.3 of a second after being staggered, they're like, alright, fuck that, I'm not being staggered anymore, and then they move and hit me with a big attack. I'm sure the game is not cheating. I'm sure that the game has its rules that it abides by. But it feels like the game is cheating. It feels like the game has a separate list of rules for your opponent and a separate list of rules for you. And it hurts. It hurts real bad. Now in Souls, this is more understandable, because you're usually going up against a 9-limbed creature with 8 swords and a halberd or something. The point is, it obviously operates on different rules than you do because you're a humanoid and that's a thing. But in this, even other ACs just go, you know what, I've decided that I'm actually going to ignore the fact that you've hit me, and I'm just going to hit you back. And you won't ignore it. You can't ignore it. Even when it doesn't stagger you, you still recoil. The enemy does not. It hurts. It hurts. It fucking hurts. But first of all, I fucking love this game. It's fucking brilliant. When you fight hard and win, it is one of the best feelings in the world. And the mechs speak for themselves. And speaking of the mechs, the egg is done. Or painted. The egg is painted. I quite like this, actually. I don't know if it's quite what Spectrum envisioned, but I kind of like it. I guess maybe the pink could be a bit more eggshell. But I kind of like the vibrancy of it. It's noticeable, as it should be. This is not a stealth unit. Let me quickly just test how a more eggshell color would look, right? Nah, keep it as it is. The egg is done. Now I've got the perfect mission to test this on, because I can also show you guys why tetrapods are quite so effective. There's also a long mission, so you guys will get your not money's worth, because YouTube is free content, but you'll get your money's worth in terms of a video, okay? Also, I've beaten all the arena fights, every single one. They get quite tough. They get really tough. And the mission I'm about to show you is actually quite tough. Yes, this is the one. So, Egg... Oh god, it literally... Actually, before we start, I need to save it. But Egg needs a test run. Egg needs a real test run. There we go. It's saved. Now I'll never lose it. Egg needs a real test run. We need to see what Egg is made of, other than eggshell. So let's get in there and see what we can do. With the high amount of explosives, it will not struggle to take down individual targets. So, mobility is not too bad on this mech. Durability is actually quite high. Aerial maneuverability is mwah. And the explosions are real and frequent. Plenty of missiles actually, and 2 relatively powerful single-shot explosives. Yeah, we don't need the story, thank you, that's not what people are here for, we're here for mechs.
Activating combat mode.
Gotta get the mechs. Oh yeah, actually, it looks really good.
Let's head toward the elevator going to the upper level.
So this mission is a... Oh, hello. Alright, well, it's a good test of our evasive capabilities. You're dead. Later, buckaroo. Oh wow, he actually dodged, can't believe it. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh I fell, oh I didn't fall off the map, lucky. Okay, but I need to be careful of that in the future. Hello! Now the only problem with explosives, of course, is that enemies, you know, can dodge them. Which means you have to be careful. Like, if I was fighting an AC, this would be a hard thing to win with. Not impossible. Missiles are very good at dealing with mechs who like to dodge, but single-shot explosives, struggle. For sure. But against chaff and things that are larger than ACs, yeah, this can work quite well, I think. But we're going to test our capabilities on this front anyway, with an AC fight. How you doing, buddy? Now, he's probably one of the weakest ACs in the game, so we haven't gone too hard on ourselves for this one. Get wrecked. Where did he go? Oh yeah, he loves it. Big favorite. No thank you, sir. Not gonna get hit by your melee attacks, thank you. Oh, I might. Thinking about it. Oh yeah! The 4-legged kick. No thank you, sir. I could let you hit me, but why would I? He's also not a very good pilot, I should point out. This is one of the worst pilots in the game. Yeah, there he goes. What a loser. Moving on. Yeah, I loved beating up your loser boyfriend over there. So far, it's not actually bad at dealing with enemy ACs. It's got a certain je ne sais quoi to it. I don't know if you've noticed, but it does. But ammo is definitely going to... Fuck. It's definitely going to fuck. Ammo is going to be a concern. Overall, on longer form engagements, we run the real risk of running out of ammo. The left arm in particular only has 12 rounds left in it. But for one-on-ones, the mech is actually pretty suitable because if anything can survive all of this ammo, all of these explosives, then you're either not fighting the enemy properly because you keep missing, or you're fucked anyway, so maybe a different build is required. That's the thing that's key actually about learning to beat this game, or actually just beating this game in general. Don't be too attached to a specific build. Do not be too attached to a specific build of mech, okay? Because you might have to change it for certain fights. Now, I'm sure if you're really good, you could win most boss fights with any build, but not everyone is really good. So chances are you might need to switch up in order to beat a boss fight, because Some are just not suitable. Believe it or not, dual pistols is not the answer to every combat engagement in this game. In fact, it's the answer to very few. I forced it to work at times because I love it so much, but sometimes I had to bite my tongue and switch to the pest. Because you gotta attend to reality eventually, and you know what? Sometimes dual pistols ain't the way. I was also disappointed when I learned this, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Miniguns are much more versatile, however, and can handle most situations pretty handily. Not all, but most. How the fuck did I miss? Did you see that? Like, I launched the left arm cannon and it just flew over the fucking mech. That's the thing, right? Sometimes you're fighting a really dangerous boss and you're like, okay, good, but I managed to get this shot in and it just sails past the guy's head while he's not moving. And you're like, game, please. I'm already struggling. And like, I don't need a random element coming into things. Bad enough about my targeting just not working. I'll complain about this game until the end of the day, but I love it to pieces. I'm so glad I've gotten to play an Armored Core game, and I'm so glad I can sit here and really sink my teeth into it. Because I've always wanted to. Always wanted to sink my teeth into an Armored Core game. And here we are. And I get to do it on my channel, which is fucking delightful. I absolutely love it. Get wrecked, loser. So it's worth pointing out for those of you who are wondering, right, because someone actually asked this question in the Discord the other day while I was streaming this, and it's a good question that is worth answering. The game typically does not just give you shit parts at the start and progressively better parts as time goes on. Most, if not all, parts in this game are side grades. Different things focus on different priorities. Some parts are heavier, some parts are faster, some parts fire more, some parts do more damage per shot. The idea is not to unlock the best parts in the game and then you're golden. The idea is to find the parts that work best for you, for what you want to make. Ouch. So, like, you know, if you're like, oh, well, I can't beat this part of the game because I haven't got the right parts, they haven't given me good enough parts yet, I hate to break it to you, but that's not how the game works. Like, don't get me wrong, you might not have the gun you want yet, and that's a downer, and I feel for you on that, I do. But the game, you always have the tools you need to win. The game is quite careful about this, actually. The question is whether or not you equips them, or if you recognize that those are the parts you need to win. For one boss, who absolutely kicked my ass until about 2:30 in the morning, I had to accept the fact that my dual pistols couldn't do it, and I had to keep fiddling with builds until I found one that could fight it effectively. Now, other players could probably beat that with my original build, but I have to recognize my limitations. I'm not good enough. I was not good enough to win it with the warning I had to change. I had to use the pest. I tried to use Big Thickums, and I'll show you guys Big Thickums someday because that is a lot of fun. But, yeah, even Big Thickums weren't up to that challenge. Big Thickums is the mech I made on my Discord stream, and that was the big one we saw in the AC Day. That mech is a ton of fun. That mech is so much fun. So this boss is a fucker. It's not that bad. It's not among the bosses I mentioned earlier as being horrifically unbeatable, but it is irritating. But if I'm... Oh my god, that was close. If I'm right, this mech should be perfectly suited to beating this boss because of its tetrapod legs. There we go. Unfortunately, I'm not used to piloting tetrapods, so I'm having a little bit of trouble with it, as I'm sure you can see. It's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out together. But the idea with this thing is you either shoot it from the front and attack it head on, which is scary, kind of like Cataphract, or you pop shots in the top there. Don't touch its arms because they do contact damage, and fuck me do I hate contact damage. What a loser. There we go. I think you do more damage from here, or at the very least it's easier to land direct shots. And staying up here means it can't really touch you, but if you're not playing a mech that can fight like this, like my dual pistol build did not have fun with this battle. Straight up, this was painful. This was very painful. I don't know what he's doing. kind of scared me for a moment there with his doing things I'm not familiar with movements. Just needs to get some of my EN back. Okay, thank you. Ow.
50%. 2 repair kits remaining.
What an annoying guy.
Left-hand ammunition at 50%.
Come on, get down there, and then kablams and a couple more missiles for fun. Go up, please. Oh my god, that was close. But yeah, tetrapods are very, very, very good. They are very, very, very good. Are you trying to run away from me, Squire? Would you like to stay still and just let me kill you? That would be cool if you did that. So yeah, this boss, which actually gave me a lot of trouble when I first fought him, is now officially a fucking joke. Made absolutely trivial by this machine. Now he's getting some hits in, sure, but not enough to really threaten me. But of course, a thing you need to know if you decide to play this game is that the enemy can even the odds, even the score, very, very quickly if you are careless. You know, kind of like I am being. But it does not take the AI much to do enough damage to take away any lead you might have had. There we go. The egg is pretty fucking good. It's pretty fucking good. It's a pretty fun little thing. Ah, it's pretty fun. Oh, look, it's even got a smile on its face. Likewise. It sure fucking is. You play nice with the egg or the egg will break you. You gotta get egged, bitch. Yeah. Ah, that's fun. It's a fun little machine. I'm wondering if there's something I could really test it against, because like I said before, an honest to God one-on-one AC fight, I don't see this doing a very good job. I just don't. With its limited ammo, or just mainly reliance on single shot attacks. We'll go chunky versus chunky, right? Tetrapod versus tetrapod, and see what we can do. And then that'll be the end of the test run, but this mech actually functions very well. It can be used for level traversal quite effectively, it can fight large targets, and, well, we're about to establish how well it can handle ACs, but it can handle ACs to a point.
Evaluation program, number 17, entering ring C. Subject AC, cannon head, call sign, gun 4 Volta.
Hey Volta, how's it going?
Evaluation.
I think my mech might be more durable, but I'm not entirely sure. I think he has got a bit more plating.
Main system activating combat mode.
It's legs versus legs. Yeah. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. So that's why I like to get close with explosives, because you can guarantee a hit. The only problem is, of course, once I've spent everything, it can be a while before we get to fire again. Oh, come on, that was surely a hit. Surely it was a hit! You can't do this to me. There we go, there we go, there we go. I've noticed like these first few requests we've gotten, and indeed some of the future ones, which you guys will see in due time, have mainly requested explosives, which is surprising to me because I'm a big kinetics fan. I like bullets. I was going to try and... yeah, I mean, I hit him with it anyway, but I wanted to do it while he was stunned. Oh, so close. So close to landing the big Mamba Jamba. Fuck. Oh, come on. I think this will be a loss. Yep, this will be a loss. Okay. Let me give that one more try, because I think I just kind of fucked it up a lot there. need to make use of more of the levitation abilities, of the hovering. It's not even levitation, it's just hovering. I need to use the hovering more, because trying to drive around on the floor and use the bazooka and cannon means we have to stop in order to fire, or at least slow down. Whereas when you're flying, when you're hovering, the legs absorb the recoil.
Main system activating combat.
Let's give this another try. I just need to keep an eye on my boost at the same time as well, because running out of boost is a bad time. Where is he? There he is. I say we just attempt to rain fire on him from above. He'll give up eventually. If I just shoot him enough times. There we go, got him with the kick. Get wrecked, loser. Now, ideally, you kind of want to be aiming down when firing explosives, because then you have a chance for the explosive to detonate next to them, thereby still providing some damage. Alternatively, you can just nail them directly with... That was so close. You can just nail them directly with it, and that works too. That was very good. Fucker. Don't know how the fuck you didn't get staggered initially, buddy, but good for you, I suppose. Seriously, how are you still moving? If I got hit by half the amount of attacks you got hit by, I would have been staggered. There we go. Follow up.
Left-hand ammunition at 50%.
That was a good hit. At what cost, though? Oh, yeah, that was a good kick. That was a very good kick. Yeah, yes, Snapper, that was a very good kick. Yeah, nice, good. Okay, so this thing can handle other ACs, but I would honestly go out on a limb and say it's perhaps not designed for it.
Target destroyed.
Or it's possible that it might actually be very designed for it, but it requires an intermediate to advanced pilot to really get the most out of it in that respect. I am not one of those, despite having beaten the game. That doesn't make me a good player, that makes me a determined player, and there's a very big difference there. So, I would say, it's good for standard level traversal, although if you're dealing with large numbers, then it'll test your ability to dodge, because you'll be undergoing a lot of fire, and you'll be taking down your targets probably quite slowly, 4 at a time, really, with some rather large cooldowns before you can fire again. Against large boss-like targets, effective, like tetrapods, for instance, the tetrapod MTs, which function as mini-bosses a lot of the time, very effective against those because they lack the speed to get out of the way. Easy to deal with them. Big boss enemies, it works similarly there too, because a lot of big boss enemies have enough armor that a lot of shots deflect, but explosives don't deflect. Explosives explode, so it works quite well there. As for ACs, yeah, this definitely has the ability to stagger, damage, and punish other ACs, but it requires some finesse. Some finesse I certainly lack, because I almost lost to Volta, and he's not very tough. So, But I think you can make it work, and certainly adjustments can be made to make it more suitable to any individual role. This is the thing we need to remember about having your own mechs, ladies and gentlemen. This currently has a Majestic and an Iridium. It does not always have to have a Majestic and an Iridium. Take a look at the foe you're going up against and adjust accordingly. You know? The missiles are pretty multi-purpose. You can deal with them. They'll be effective against most things. These, I mean, if they hit their target, they'll hurt whatever the fuck they hit. It's just a question of whether or not you can hit the respective target. Like I say, this is why I try to go in close with explosives, because shoving a bazooka in someone's face means you won't miss. And that helps. But overall, I'm not sure if it's particularly egg-like. I tried, but I had to make a judgment call with the legs, which I felt really suited the overall appearance. And that Tian Kuang torso is like the fucking boxiest / roundest thing I could find. And the head was for fun. I thought that was a fun addition. What do you think of the egg? How would you design it in accordance with the client specifications, and what would you do to generally improve upon it? Let me know. But ladies and gentlemen, This has been the Mech Locker. Let me know what you think of the egg. And thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Ethrabin, Linky, Zeon Cedar, Bimbleward, Tum King, Majoko Myman, Adash Sanjeev, Alkir, Honeydew Corporation, Sweet Baby Red, MB Elias, Lord Scullington, Jessica Plutonium Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Leper Lullaby, K-Bub, Magic Owl, The Frostbite, Monsoon, World, Warmaster Oku, SCP-106A, Namad, and KT800 for support to be on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. As always, I thoroughly enjoy designing mechs. We've got some cool ones coming up in the future. The next one, if I remember correctly, isn't actually explosives-based at all, and isn't pink. So it will actually be quite visually, and I think functionally, distinct from what we've seen so far. So I do hope you stick around to see that one too. If you've got questions for me to answer on this show, then please post them in the comments or on the Discord. If you have a submission for a mech, if you have a mech idea, please post them in the comments or the Discord. And thank you so much for watching. Whatever happens next time, and I'll be here in the workshop as always, and I hope I see you there. Toodles, goodbye.